In this video, we're going to continue with the idea of launching the kite, but instead of using a prop or using an assistant like a friend to help you, we're going to talk about how fighter kite flyers who have some experience flying kites launch their kites. There's a couple of ways they do it, and they don't require any assistance from a prop or from any other person. They just launch the kite. And there's several ways to do it. And I don't know all of the different ways, but I do know a few that I use and that some kite flying friends of mine use, so I'll discuss those. And then you can use that as a base to start and then figure out what works best for you. That's the most important thing. Now on this kite, you can see I have the nose identified very clearly, which helps in flying a kite, because that nose is what you look at. That is what tells you what the kite's doing. Well, when I fly a kite and I'm ready to launch it, I have it connected to the bridle. I have my line connected to the bridle, and I have the kite adjusted so that I think it'll fly well. I won't know for sure until I try it in the wind that's available right now. But typically what I do, because I'm standing with my back directly into the wind, in front of me, there is no wind. I'm blocking the wind. So if I were to put the kite in front of me, it wouldn't do anything. There's no wind there. So what I do is I hold the flying line in one hand, right here, and I hold it so that it's fairly loose. And yet there isn't a lot of slack in the line between where I have my hand holding it and the kite. I hold the kite out to one side. If I'm holding the kite in my left hand, I'm going to be having it on my left side. Now when I do that, the kite's now in the wind. My body is no longer blocking the wind from the kite. So I simply gently just toss the kite up. Allow the wind to hit the kite, and for the kite to begin whatever it does based on the tension I happen to have, which is very little, because at this point I'm looking for two things. One, I want to be able to get the kite up higher in elevation, and I want to have the kite get farther away from me downwind to allow me room to maneuver the kite. I like to fly a kite between 50 and 100 feet, 150 feet away from me. That is, for me, a good distance. Works good. You might prefer it much farther away, or closer. But the purpose of launching the kite is simply to get the process started. So I hold it out to the side and above my head, and I'm just trying to make sure the kite is in the wind that exists. Toss it up, and then I gently pull on the line. The nose is pointed up. I gently pull on the line, the kite goes up. I release the line meaning that I allow the line to flow through my fingers. My fingers are applying no pressure, no tension, allowing it to just float, and the wind pushing it away from me. When I notice that the nose of the kite is pointed up again, like this, I pull the line, increasing the kite's elevation. And I might do that in relatively short bursts to allow the kite to get high enough in elevation so that I can allow the wind to push it quite a ways away from me before the kite gets to, say, 5 feet or 6 feet above the ground. When I notice the nose of the kite's pointed up again, I pull on the line again. And I continue that process until I have the kite far enough away and I'm in control of the kite, and then it's just a matter of hand over hand retrieval of the line and allowing the line to go free, releasing the tension to provide the control and the maneuverability of the kite that I'm trying to deal with. So it's a very simple process, but one that requires a little bit of understanding about what the kite's typical behaviors are. And using a prop or an assistant to help launch a kite is a good way to get started. But often, the easiest way to launch it is simply by yourself. Much easier just to throw the kite up. Sometimes I will just toss it like this, and it will kind of like nose up because the spine is bent, has a small curve in it. I toss it, it'll flare up, and then I pull on the line and it shoots up. Then I allow the line to flow out with the wind pushing the kite away. That's another way that I do it. Any way that works is the right way. And in fighter kite flying, there is no wrong way, as long as the way works.